is something threatening about them. Now, how many have had it happen? They give you the look and all of a sudden it's, don't touch me, don't come near me, I never want to see you again. It's like, wait a minute, how is this possible? A moment ago, this was the love of your life. How do you convert to? How do you switch to? They're the same person, you're the same person. What changed? The only thing that changed was the active filter in your mind. And now you have a pool of intentions that show you threat, and your mind builds your image, your picture of them, your reality about them out of that pool of perceptual memory. And they show up in your mind as threatening. Whose job is it to do something about that? Yours or theirs? Whose thoughts produce the chemistry, the stresses in your mind? I would offer it's only you. You're the one that's liable for how this whole process operates. If that person resonates in you the hostility filter with the look, then what will happen is you will all of a sudden be irritated. Now let's look at that one in a practical sense. How many have heard the story? We've all heard stories about the little 5'2" woman who had this 6'9" gorilla of a husband who always beat up on her and abused her. And so every time she looked at him with the fear filter active, what did she feel? What did she experience as the reality in her mind? She saw, her mind selected evidence that showed her what was threatening about him. But we've all heard it said that one day something cracked in her mind, right? Well, you know what cracked? She shifted from fear to hostility. Now, when you shift filters, when you move out of fear, your mind will no longer produce a threatening reality. And the minute that hostility flipped in and she went to destructive intentions, and therefore her mind showed her what was irritating, she went to a different pool of perceptions. And stored there was all the information she held about being in irritation. And now she is really peeved. And you don't want to get in her way, do you? And neither does he, even though he's 6'9", because he's in trouble. And the only difference is that she flipped from one filter to another. What the Master was telling us 2,000 years ago is that if you always want the highest and best output from your mind, you keep perfect love active in your mind. Fear is not possible. Hostility is not possible. What you will find is the store of intentions and the store of perceptions will always show you what is loving about the object of your attention. Well, does that mean that I just have to lay down and I've got this neighbor that's, you're talking about neighbor here, I've got this neighbor that's going to attack me, I just lay down and let him attack? No, it doesn't mean you passively accept abuse.